Sausage.
Hello, everyone. This is Attack the Backlog, the podcast where I, Mark Krishnaz, tries to make a dent in their backlog one game at a time. This episode is all about Nicktoons and the Dice of Destiny. Bring iconic Nickelodeon heroes into a world of fantasy and real-time RPG action. Throw the dice and dive into a wild, action-packed adventure with SpongeBob, Katara, Leonardo, and others, featuring epic battles, dynamic environments. It's an engaging gameplay experience for players of all ages. I feel really unhinged right now. My hair, everything. But Nicktoons and the Dice of Destiny is a family game, I guess we can call it, that I thought looked really fun when I saw the trailers for it. It reminded me of Xbox Live arcade era hack and slash action RPGs in that Diablo vein, but more casual friendly, like a Death Spank or the Baconing, which I think was part of that universe. Games like that, though, that gave you that loot, hack and slashing combat, that nice loop of all of that in a more colorful and friendly package. And this, of course, has the Nickelodeon worlds and properties to work with that will appeal to people of a certain age or those who have that nostalgia. Because when I was playing it, one of the things that one of the people watching me play it brought up was that while this feels very much so like a game for kids, because let's just rewind, let's just bring it all back. This is a very, very simple action RPG. You're not going to be asked to do a lot in terms of your combat abilities or anything. It is very, very basic, and I can't imagine I'll have much to say about the game. But in terms of the Nickelodeon side of it, you have Ninja Turtles covered, Avatar: The Last Airbender, SpongeBob, and then other things that I don't know because I realized playing this game, oh, I don't have a lot of I don't have that much affinity or a frame of reference for a lot of Nickelodeon shows. I think I was probably more of a Cartoon Network kid growing up, so I would much rather have Hey Arnold in here. It was Hey Arnold Nickelodeon. I don't even know what is what, but give me some Hey Arnold, give me some Johnny Bravo, give me some Dexter's Laboratory, stuff like that. There's a Rugrats. There's some Rugrats in here too. I don't know the relevancy of any of this stuff. Any of these shows are still here, but there's. Is it Fairly Odd Parents? Somebody in the chat said Fairly Odd something. I'm like, well, Fairly Odd Parents. I remember that name. Is that what this kid is from with his fairy godmothers? Then you have Dash Ninja or something, and some other stuff as well. But while playing it, I realized, whoa, I just don't know Nickelodeon things outside of the Ninja Turtles, which weren't originally a Nickelodeon property, and Avatar: The Last Airbender. I know of SpongeBob, of course. I know of SpongeBob, but in my personal life, I've watched maybe 20 minutes total of SpongeBob things. Half an episode and 10 minutes of the first movie. I think it is the first movie. And that's it. Because it just didn't grab me. Its humor didn't do it all that much for me. And the animation, while I kind of was into, because it has a bit of that Ren and Stimpy weird vibe to it, it doesn't go full in on that. So it feels a bit more subdued in that sense. But I don't have a lot of attachment to Nickelodeon shows. So that part of this game was already not there for me. And then when I started playing, I was like, oh, this is just kind of okay. It doesn't actually feel that great. I don't know what I was expecting either. I just remember seeing the trailer at some kind of showcase, whatever it may have been, and thinking, "Ooh, this actually looks kind of cool. This looks nice." This is giving me again that Xbox Live Arcade era vibe, and I am very nostalgic for games like that. Give me a nice, short, simple action RPG. I can enjoy that. But when I started playing it, I was like, "Oh, actually, this doesn't." It looks kind of nice, a little bit charming, but it does feel a bit lacking in the animation side, where it just seems like they're utilizing a single animation for something that could maybe use a bit more nuance. And I played through the game entirely as Leonardo, obviously, because I'm a huge Ninja Turtle person. I don't know if the camera, I have Ninja Turtle crap tattooed permanently on my body. You can see some of it there. I'm that much of a weird Ninja Turtle person. You can't really see it clearly on the walls, but there's just Ninja. I'm very fond of the Ninja Turtles. So, of course, I'm going to play as Leonardo. Am I bummed it's Leonardo and none of the other turtles because Leonardo is the worst of the turtles? Yes. But usually when they only pick one, it's going to be Leonardo because he's the leader of the group, but he's also the most boring of the group. I'm Donatello all the way because all the cool kids are for Donatello. He goes Donatello, Michelangelo, Raph, Leo. But I played as Leonardo, who is the samurai class. I have tried half of the other characters. I think there are maybe 9 characters in total that you can play from. Timmy Turner, he is that what that song is based on? This Nickelodeon character? That, if true, is just wild to me. There's also Jimmy Neutron. He shows up in the thing, which you can't play as him. I think there's a character from the Jimmy Neutron world you can play as. I don't know because I didn't watch Jimmy Neutron either, but I remember Jimmy Neutron. That again feels like something that is more geared towards older people with nostalgia than younger folk who are like, "Oh, I look at this game full of." So the thing about that had me wondering is this a game for adults with nostalgia for these certain Nickelodeon properties who want to share them with their kid? Because you can play this cooperatively, of course, and that's would be the ideal way. The the challenge isn't really there. You can play on a harder difficulty because you have 3 difficulties per area, and it doesn't what is the term I'm looking for? There's no level scaling, so the earlier areas will have their level differences, so it might be level 5 for the base level, and then a medium one is level 7 for the enemies is what this is gauging, and then level 9 for the hard. That doesn't increase as your level increases. Those stay where they're at. So if you get to the end game, you beat the game, max level, level 40. When you go back to those earlier levels, even on the hardest difficulty, you'll get through them easily because you're way out level for them, which is nice. I'm always a fan of games. I don't like level scaling because if I take the time and increase my level, I want to go back to earlier areas or earlier levels and stomp through them like a monster because I put in the time and the effort to do that. Let me go back and make mincemeat of this level that may have given me challenge of this area that may have given me a challenge earlier in the game. So I don't like level scaling. So that's good. I also like that with the leveling, you don't have to level each character individual. Your level is tied to you, your profile, your account, so on and so forth. So that when you play through the game as one character, if you're not constantly switching between them, but it would work the way if you're switching between them. If you, for instance, like me, play through the entire game as Leo and get to level 40, if you want to replay certain levels or play through the whole game again as the squirrel thing is the squirrel from SpongeBob, which visually I feel like they're from SpongeBob. When I look at them or when I think about them, like SpongeBob is it all takes place underwater, right? How, the squirrel can't be from it, right? I don't know what any of these characters are from. Is what I keep beating into the ground. But if you play as the squirrel, if you play as, for instance, Katara from Avatar, you'll still be max level. You'll be level 40. You'll have to go and get her new equipment that is of that level as well. But there's a store there. You get so much gold in the game that you have no means to use it, which is unfortunate. Then you also have these gems that you can go to Donatello to upgrade equipment to up to 3-star to give them a little bit of a boost, which you don't get enough of. I wish you got more of the gems, the stones for that than gold, because gold is the most worthless currency in the world. You get so much of it, and the store is only ever populated with the common versions of your weapons for each individual character. There aren't really unique weapons exactly, but when you get to the more rare versions of them, so purples, the uncommons, rare, whatever they're called, they'll have a little bit of a different look to them, but they're not really that different. They'll have a few modifiers that give them some extra abilities, but that is one way the game is lacking, probably to keep things more simplified for players. When you level up, you're not adding skill points to anything, you're not doing anything, you just get stronger. And over the course of leveling up, you will unlock certain abilities for the characters that could be a spinning attack or eventually ultimates for all the characters. Leo's ultimate was where he gets into Zen mode and becomes stronger for 20 seconds or so. The Rugrat character can summon the giant T-Rex to go stomping around. I think Timmy Turner, who's a Fairly Odd Kid with the fairy godmothers? Their ultimate, whoever has the fairy godmothers, their ultimate is turning those fairy godparents into a turret that just kills anything in a certain area of effect for a while. That character is also annoying because their fairy godparents are constantly on screen, just floating above them, so they're taking up screen real estate for no reason. The characters all have unique attacks too, which do differ quite a bit. Like with Leo, who is the samurai, he's just a basic hack and slasher, but I forget which one it was that I tried. One of the characters who's more of a mage magic type class, they had a kind of beam lock on attack that would just lock on automatically to the nearest enemy or obstacle and just destroy it, which could be good for certain characters who want to keep their distance or players who want to keep their distance and also want that ease of not having to target enemies or even look at them in any way. It's just like, oh, I'm going to hold down this button and attack. That's another thing about the attacking I don't like. One, you can either press the A button on Xbox, X button on PlayStation, and so on and so forth to attack, or you can use the right analog stick to attack in whatever direction you're pushing the button in, which is kind of all right, but I would have liked maybe the analog stick to be used for the dodge roll. But what I don't like about the attacking is that it is not a maybe it sure doesn't feel this way where you press the button and you press it repeatedly to do a combo. When you do it that way, it doesn't feel like the combo goes through smoothly. But if you hold down the attack button, then it happens smoothly. I don't like that. I don't like holding down a button and seeing multiple inputs happen. I want to be the one in control I want to be the one in control of my combo. Let me do it. Don't just have me hold down. But again, this is a Nicktoons themed action RPG. It is more simplified. It is meant for younger players. So I understand simplifying the controls in that way. Again, not made for someone like me, but then you look at the properties they decide to use, like the one person watching me play it was saying, these seem more geared towards people of my age or maybe slightly younger who grew up with these shows. So it's this kind of weird balance of you have these characters from shows that are a bit more older skewing, but then the gameplay and the game itself is more younger skewing. So who exactly is this game for? And again, I think it's for families and especially adults who enjoy this stuff and want to share it with their kids and have a decent time with them. Because it's not a bad game. It just is what it is. You look at it, you see Nickelodeon, you see it's from Game Mill, and you think, oh, this is probably going to be a fine whatever game. And that's what it is. It is a fine whatever game. I was just based off of the trailer I saw, hoping for a diamond in the rough. Is it a diamond in the rough? No, it's just a clump of sand in the rough that, in the right light, can kind of fool you into thinking it's a diamond, but it's actually just more sand. So, yeah. Nicktoons and the Dice of Destiny is a fine action RPG, but it's nothing more than that. There's not much reason to replay it. If you're an achievement trophy hunter, it's not too bad. I'd recommend. I didn't do this because I want to get through it faster. I didn't even look at the achievements. You have achievements for getting through all the levels on the hardest difficulty, which isn't super hard to do. The bosses can be a bit tricky because of how bullet spongy they are. I would also just point this out. When you go to Donatello to upgrade a weapon or armor, I don't know if it did this with armor as well, but it does this with weapons. When you upgrade a weapon and then go into a level, for whatever reason, it'll take that weapon and unequip it. So if you go into a level, I fought a boss and I was like, why is this taking so long? Why am I doing so little damage to this? This is taking forever. This boss is the worst. And it was because I played through that entire boss fight with no weapon equipped. Because the weapon I had and upgraded, it unequipped itself when I entered the level. That is going to happen every time you upgrade a weapon and then go into a level. So just remember to make sure everything is equipped when you start a level. Otherwise, you might be in the same predicament as me. But the boss fights are the only kind of tricky part because of how tedious they are. They're not difficult, they're just tedious. Outside of that, though, it's fine. It's fine. It's very dull. It's very boring. The first night I played it, after about 2.5 hours, because it was also I was so tired, and it was really hard staying awake while playing it because it's not very engaging. The levels, there are maybe 30 levels or so. Eight worlds, I guess you would call 8 areas comprised of, I think, 4 levels. So like 32-ish, 36-ish, like maybe 32 levels, 90, 40 in total. But you have your handful of levels that ask you to do. Typically, you're just getting to the end portal, but sometimes you might have to kill a certain number of enemies to open it up, or destroy these specific enemies, or get through an area and not take so much damage. And you have a few side missions you can take from the characters in your hub world that'll ask you to do certain things or find certain things. But you do all that, then you get your boss fight, so on and so forth. But yeah, Nicktoons and the Dice of Destiny is a fine game, but it is what it is. I don't think that's surprising to anyone. So if you are a big fan of Nickelodeon from back in the day, or you're a parent looking for something to enjoy with your kid, Nicktoons and the Dice of Destiny is a decent time for that. I think you'll have a good time. For anyone else, though, yeah, I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. It's probably not for you. And even that first person who may be a fan of Nickelodeon stuff and has nostalgia, it also probably isn't for you. Wasn't for me, really. It was fine. I've played much worse and I've played much better. It's something I played and it's no longer in my backlog. And I'm gonna get all the achievements in it because why not? I don't know when I will, but I'll work towards it. Anywho, that is going to do it for this here episode of Attack the Backlog. Once again, I am Mark Krishnez. Y'all can find me pretty much everywhere at PX Sausage. If you enjoy this here show or any of the stuff I do and what have you, you can support me and my nonsense over at patreon.com/PXS. There you can get access to a monthly Q&A. Nope. Rewind. I accidentally do that so many times in this one. I just full on with there. No, you can get access to the sausage dump where I talk about this, that, and whatever, as well as a private Discord channel and a fancy Discord role, some fancy Discord roles, depending on your tier, of course. That is again, patreon.com/PXS. In addition to the Patreon, you can find links to the site, the YouTube, the Discord, and so much more over at pxsausage.com. That is the letter P, the letter X, sausage.com. But that is it. That is all. As always, thank you for watching or listening. I hope you enjoy this here episode, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. But for now, adios, arrivederci. Bye bye.
It's go time.